Since the expulsion on Sunday, November 22, 2015, of former member and MP for Christchurch West, Dr. Maria AGARD from the Barbados Labour Party, the issue has been uppermost on the lips of Barbadians, being discussed across the length and breadth of the island. This morning, CBC's cameras went to Parliament before the start of its sitting just after 10 o'clock to get the views of members across the political divide. The first person to speak to us was former Prime Minister and MP for St. Peter, Owen Arthur.
In 1994, when they brought a no-confidence motion on behalf of the Barbados Labour Party against a then-sitting Prime Minister, I quoted Edmund Burke that an event has happened among us about which it is difficult to speak, but about which it is impossible to remain silent. Today I'm breaking my silence. I have exercised tremendous forbearance while things that I regard as a threat to our democracy has been taking place in this country. And I want to break my silence and comment on the so-called Maria AGARD issue. And begin by saying that there, but for the grace of God, goes me. I made a decision to end my relationship with the Barbados Labour Party after 41 years of supporting it and after being a member in good standing for 30 years, when at a meeting of its National Council, Cynthia Ford and Trevor Prescott, with me Molly sitting in the chair, read out a list of transgressions about which I was to be answerable on the threat of expulsion from the institution. And I need to begin to put certain things in the public record. It didn't start there. I came under attack from certain sections in Mayor Motley's Labour Party when I refused to be used as a gimmick and said so in public. I'm not a boy in the yard for Mayor Motley or for anybody else. And on the 9th of January, she decided that she was going to commandeer me against my express wishes, opposition, sorry, to be part of an eminent person group that the government did not call for, to report to the government by the 15th of January. And I met with her and said, Mayor Motley, I give you no permission to put me in that position. But she went ahead and did it nonetheless. And when she was finished speaking on her press conference, I messaged her and says, Mayor, you have done what I told you not to do to me. Please correct the public record. She texts me back, noted. The second instance was a debate on the Revenue Authority. The Revenue Authority that exists in Barbados now was conceived of by the Barbados Labour Party under my leadership. I put Clyde Maskell and a permanent secretary to plan it. And the authority that exists now, as Jerome Walcott would have revealed in the cabinet paper, was agreed to by the entire Labour Party cabinet, including Mayor Motley. And when that matter came to Parliament, Mayor Motley found the most staggeringly ignorant reasons to oppose it, on the grounds that it should not have been appointed by a board. And I stood on the floor of Parliament, as is my constitutional right, and said that this matter was the subject of a decision by my cabinet, and that I am duty-bound now to support something that I conceived of. And a meeting took place in Mayor Motley's office, and that, led by Santia Bradshaw, notion that I should be expelled for supporting something now that I conceive of as the Prime Minister of Barbados. And then there was the matter of the voting in the estimates debate. We met as a parliamentary group. I advised them that they should have abstained because the Barbados Labour Party was appearing to lose in too many battles. The group unanimously agreed that we were not going to vote against the estimates. And between the leader of the opposition office and Parliament, Mayor Motley unilaterally, with the support again of a small group, decided that the will of the majority should not prevail and that we should vote, do exactly what we said we were not going to do. And I was in Parliament, and they said, look, I am not going now to be led unilaterally. And if a group decides on a course of action, that must hold. And that Mayor Motley cannot unilaterally commandeer me to do that which we said we are not going to do. And I went to the public then because it became a public issue, and I explained to the public that I was in Parliament, yes, but I did not vote, not participate in the vote, because the Barbados Labour Party parliamentary group said we were not going to vote against the estimates. And that prompted Cynthia Ford and others, Terry Prescott, to go to the Barbados Labour Party's National Council and read out a list of charges against me too, as to why I should be expelled or disciplined by the Barbados Labour Party for doing no more than expressing an opinion in public on a matter that concerns my behavior as a member of Parliament. I didn't know at that moment that I was going to leave the Barbados Labour Party. Because if in a political institution that should be looking to support and uphold the freedom of expression, you cannot express an opinion about yourself on a matter concerning yourself, then, as I said, the party has lost its way and has lost its soul. And in this matter, this is a tragedy that Maria AGARD can be being dragged through the mud of public disapprobation for doing nothing more than expressing herself about a matter concerning herself. Now, let me just say this again strongly for the record, that there's nobody in Barbados politics, and certainly in the Labour Party politics, who has expressed themselves more openly and freely, not about matters concerning themselves, but about the party's affairs, than Mayor Motley. You seem not to recall that Mayor Motley once went to a national consultation, and without the approval of the party, committed the Barbados Labour Party to a policy that we were staggered with, that we were going to commit ourselves to distributing condoms in prison. I don't think you quite appreciate what peril that caused the Barbados Labour Party. And then I sent Frontal Stewart a note once, and when she was speaking in here, when she so took the Labour Party and Roller Topping apart on the Paradise debate, that was when they said Frontal Stewart, the note said, please take her off our hands. And you know, I hear that a member can now be expelled from an institution for not going to meetings to nominate other candidates. But that's let me say for the record that Mayor Motley did not attend any meeting of my parliamentary group between 2010 and 2013, and there was no urge to expel her, and that she had freedom of expression. She came to this parliament to a budget reply, hand in hand with Chris Sinclair, and nobody thought that that was reason to expel her. And you know, when I hear people don't being expelled for expressing, putting things in the media, there has to be full disclosure now. So that, you know, when I left the Barbados Labour Party, it was very clear to give precise reasons. And I may need to restate them today. I was proud to be a member of the Barbados Labour Party. And you must believe me when I tell you that it was with a great sense of agony that I left an institution that I supported for 41 years. When I left Cayfield campus, I went and supported, I was a polling agent for the Barbados Labour Party in 1971. So I was supporting the party for 41 years. And I was a member of it formally for over 30 and led it. But it was a great sense, with a very, very heavy heart, that having given my life to the Labour Party, that I saw it being reduced. It has lost its way, and I had a duty to say so. It has lost its soul. And I said then that as far as I was concerned, the Barbados Labour Party had become no more than the institutional plaything of a megalomaniac. And today I go further, because all that has happened has come from that point of view. But sadly, the Barbados Labour Party is now allowing itself to become no more than a cushion to bear the imprint of the object that is sitting upon it. And I use the word object rather than the preferred three-letter word that we use on this occasion. This is a sadness that is happening to a great institution. Mayor Motley is a despot, and she believes that she has a right. Trevor Prescott expressed it on a platform. He said that she had a divine entitlement to these things. Mayor Motley does not have a divine right to be a despot over us. And I have broken my silence. I was patient, but I have children and a grandchild that will have to live in this country. And my voice will be heard, and my voice will be read, will be raised. And those who are convincing Mayor Motley that she can just ride roughshod over the Barbados Labour Party should tell her that there are those of us in Barbados who are going to stand up and that she cannot ride roughshod over us. And let me just close by telling you, because the record has to be straight, nobody should bear any comparison between what is happening now and what happened in 2010 when Mayor Motley was removed. The Constitution of Barbados is clear that you become and you remain leader of the opposition by being able to command the support of those who don't support the government. There are fundamental issues, not about speaking in public, but about mayor's behavior as a leader of the party and leader of the opposition, having fundamentally to do with the use of resources that will have to be spoken about, that prompted the majority of those who she was leading to ask her to meet with us. Mayor Motley refused to meet with the majority on the grounds that the majority of us who had made her the leader of the opposition had no lawful authority by which to ask her to attend a meeting, that only she could ask us to attend a meeting. So we asked her to meet with us to deal with these matters, and she refused. In fact, her preference was to meet with a group of so-called elders in a room who had no constitutional obligation to say who the leader of the opposition should be. And it was after she refused to respect the wishes of the majority that the members of the opposition says we have no choice in this matter but to follow the exact dictates of the Constitution of Barbados. And we did it then with a difficult heart. You will remember on the first occasion they tried to do it, I refused to turn up to the meeting because it was an overwhelmingly difficult thing to do. But Mayor Motley believes, and the group around her believe in this nonsense of her divine entitlement. And let me hope, I hope that the Labour Party can come back from the break. Mayor Motley is listening to Peter Wickham, and that is going to be spoken about in some detail too, because the Labour Party failed at the last election because of a tale of two poles. And we will get to that at some stage. But Mayor Motley told her Parliament, her National Council recently, and these things have been put out in the open now, that the Barbados Labour Party is a tarnished brand, that the people of Barbados, based upon the Wickham poll, don't want the party to be the government, but that they want her to be Prime Minister of Barbados. That is the most dangerous doctrine. And people in the Barbados Labour Party should not just be just in case, just fall in line just in case, but they should be strong enough to speak out against what I call that despotism. And I must tell you that if the next step in this is to try to bring down others who are men enough to stand up against despotism, then this will be the darkest day ever for democracy in this country.
Are you willing to mount a political force to deal with it, even though you have left the Barbados?
I have a voice in this country. I believe, and I'm not being immodest, that my voice has been a voice that the people of Barbados have heard now in active politics for over 30 years. I believe that they know what I am made of and what I am worth. And I don't have to be forming any institutions or other things to be speaking in the manner in which they feel I should speak in this country. I'm speaking to you now in the name of my children and my grandchild. That I want to live in a country where there's freedom of expression. That I want to live in a country where no despot can feel that they should hold the destiny of my children and my grandchild in their hands. And that Mayor Motley is a menace. She's a menace because she's a despot. She's a menace because she's a despot, believes that she has a right to be a despot.